Hi, everyone. Dawn Phoenix here, transformational healer and moderator on the Conscious Leadership Network. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Conscious Leadership Network. We are this awesome group of change makers and paradigm shifters, people who want to change the way the world is right now for the better by raising our consciousness. And we do this. There's a lot of us who do some really cool things, energy medicine, like me, or people who do health and fitness, nutrition, sexuality, just anything you can really think of where it helps us be healthy in mind, spirit, and body. And we do it in conscious ways where we support each other and our community. So I'm very excited to be a part of that. And there's information on how to join us below. There's a link. And within the CLN, as we call it, the Conscious Leadership Network, I have a tribe, and my tribe is called Spiritual Kindergarten. And that's where we can just go and play, be ourselves, and have others we can lean on and get support from if we're going through something funky in life. If it's part of our spiritual journey and maybe nobody else understands, we're feeling a little isolated, we can get, some support there. And I also give a weekly Dolphin energy healing session there. And once a month, we have a meet and greet where members can come hang out with me and we all just kind of chit chat. And I think I'm going to be adding a bonus because, as you can tell, this has a different name. This is a conscious perspective, and it's not channeled wisdom anymore. I'm going to be moving my channeled messages. I think I'm going to be moving that into my tribe, where I will channel the beings that I channel, the Arcturians, the Dolphins, or the Phoenix Collective for my tribe. And they can ask questions of the beings I channel. So I think I'm going to add that to my tribe. Today, I wanted to try something different and interact with you guys if you have questions, or if anyone, wants to type in a question on different topics. So this month we have the theme of communication. And funny enough, I am an animal communicator. So that's what I do, part of what I do, and that fits into the theme. So I wanted to share a little bit about why I became an animal communicator. It's something that some people haven't maybe ever heard of. So I'll just give a really brief overview. So animal communication is literally, it's telepathy, and telepathy literally means the information that's given over a distance. That's all it means. It's basically the same definition as making a long distance phone call, except we don't need the phone because we have our telepathic thought processes, gifts. I like to say our telepathic gifts, and everybody has these gifts and everybody can do this. And we just need to remember that we can. So what I like to do is just share with people why I became an animal communicator. And I'm going to see if I can share my screen. I haven't done this before, so bear with me if I mess it up. Hi, Xavier. Yay. Xavier is one of our members and a moderator on the CLN. So he's here with us today. And let's see, share screen. How about that? I'm going to show you a picture of my reason why I'm an animal communicator. Sure. Let's do entire screen. Bear with me here. Nope. Okay. Forget it. Tech. I'll figure it out one day. All right, let's see, stop screen share. I'll just tell you about her. So it was just a picture of my dog that I had about 15 years ago. Her name was Sweetie, and she was the literally sweetest dog I'd ever met. Cute little 15-pound Schnauzer Lhasa mix. And when we adopted her, my boyfriend at the time who became my husband for the time that we were together, she was our baby girl until we had our son. And she was sick when she came to us. We adopted her from the Humane Society in Colorado when we were living there in around 2002, I want to say. And she was our life, our baby girl. And she came to us sick, and we didn't know exactly how sick she was. She spent her life on and off different medications, and over the course of her lifetime, we probably pumped about $15,000 into her because of all these medical issues that she had, and we tried to give her the best life we could. So fast forward about 7 years, 8 years, I have to do math, 8 years, she was 11 years old. And Bruce, who was then my husband, is at work, and my son's in the living room. He's like 3 years old, and I'm in the kitchen, and this poor baby girl who has been having issues holding her pee and not going to the bathroom at night all over the place, and is just obviously uncomfortable and in pain and has been for weeks. I'm holding her as I'm sitting on the kitchen floor, and she is literally howling in pain, and my heart is breaking. I mean, this is my baby here. And I called Bruce at work and I said, look, you need to come home, or we need to do this tonight, but we need to stop her suffering because I can't do this anymore. She needs some relief. So we actually ended up spending the evening with her the whole night and just loving on her, and then took her to the vet the next day, had her euthanized, and I have her ashes. So long story, not so short, she's the reason I became an animal communicator, because for years later, until I became an animal communicator, and this is about 10 years now later, I was plagued with this guilt that she suffered needlessly because we couldn't talk to her and find out, is it her time to go? Our biggest fear, because we loved her so much, was that we didn't want to take her life too soon. Regardless of, how much pain she seemed to be in, maybe there was always something we could do to help her. And we felt that, euthanizing her may have been the wrong choice at times. And it was very, very difficult on both of us. But I had a real problem living with that. And so when I entered into Healing Touch for Animals, which is where I became first involved in energy medicine work, one of my classmates, she was an animal communicator and would tell us stories, these funny stories about animals that she would talk with. And I said, I want to do that. I want these stories. I want to get to know animals, and they're just like people. Not just, but they have personalities and everything the way that people do. And I said, can you talk to animals who have crossed over? And she said, absolutely, of course. And she told us some stories about animals that had crossed over. For instance, she was driving on the road and saw an animal. It was a rabbit dead on the side of the road. And as she's driving by, she said, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. And all of a sudden, the rabbit just pops in her head and said, oh, it's okay. I was just hopping across the road and bam, that was it. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he said, it's okay. He said, I was going to visit my girlfriend across the road, but she was stepping out on me anyway. And so I'm like, what? So, dead rabbit, funny story. I was like, all right, you can talk to animals who have crossed over. I want to learn this. So I did. It was from an animal communicator in Denver who is an attorney by day. And on the weekends, she teaches out of her house. And so I went there. This was obviously pre-COVID. This was in about 2015, I want to say. And I went there and I did all 3 levels of her course. And when I was in the second level, which is animal mediumship, where you speak to animals who have crossed over, I couldn't personally do it yet, but we would practice with each other's animals, and my classmates practiced with Sweetie, and each of them spoke with her. And I can't tell you how amazing it was to hear from her. And she said, I wanted her to know that I was so sorry, that we had waited so long. And she said, there's nothing to forgive, which floored me. She said, you did the best you could under the circumstances. And I'm grateful for the life I had with you. And it was so, even obviously now it affects me to have that relief of 10 years of guilt for one of the beings I've loved the most on this planet to forgive me. And my classmates didn't know anything about her. I just said, oh, here's a picture of her. Her name is Sweetie. She's crossed over. Boom, just ask her, about me. And so it was really amazing. So I became an animal communicator because that moment changed my life. That guilt and that pain that I had been carrying around with me, eating away at my tender heart, literally evaporated just like that in that moment. Once I knew that she had forgiven me and that she is never upset. There was nothing to forgive, she said. So I didn't ever want anybody that I could help to go through something like that, all that guilt and pain. So I wanted to share my gift with my clients, because a lot of the time when people hire an animal communicator, it's to find out if it is the appropriate time for their animal, or is it too soon? Or in my case, is it too late? Is it something need to be done, right now? So that's why I did it, was because I didn't want anyone else to go through what I went through. And it also came in handy as an animal, a healing touch for animals practitioner. So I could talk to my clients, while I was treating them, to find out their take on, what I was doing for them to work with them. So I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit about why I chose to become an animal communicator. And I'm going to be talking more about animal communication this month, because I think it's important to educate people. And also, I'm not sure when. I want to say October, I'm going to be teaching an animal communication course. So, and I'll be doing it live. It's not going to be recorded. So I just want to educate you guys on this, so that maybe you feel into, hey, I'd kind of like to learn how to do that. I've been through something similar. So I just want to reach out and share my heart with you and help you understand how beneficial it can be. And so there's that. And if I'm just going to open the floor up to questions. If anybody has any questions, you can just throw them in the comment box, and I think they'll pop up here where I am. And while I'm just waiting to see if anybody has any questions, I'll let you guys know that there's links down below here to join the Conscious Leadership Network and my tribe. There's also links below if you want to have a session with me, channeled messages, dolphin energy healing, anything like that. I have a course coming up that I'm teaching in September. I'm co-teaching it. It is a channeling course, and it has a long name. It's the Soul Wisdom Language Exploration. That's the name of this series. And this one is a channeling workshop. And I'm co-teaching it with my friend and intuitive artist, Regina Curtis. So there's a link for that down below. And members of my spiritual kindergarten community, that tribe, get into that course for 50% off. So once you join spiritual kindergarten, you can just message me for the coupon code. And then when you click the link I have below, you can enter that coupon code at checkout, and it will take 50% off the course for you. So it doesn't look like anyone has any questions. So I'm going to boogie and call it a day for now. And matter of fact, I have my meet and greet with my tribe in about 45 minutes. So I thank you guys for being here with me today. And if you do have any questions, just, post a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And I am wishing you much love and much light and many blessings. I'll see you next week for some more conscious perspective. Bye. Take care.